Hi, Bernie. I'm McKenna Shaw. How are you today?
Nice to meet you. I'm as good as I could be, I guess. Is there anything I can get you? Water, snacks? I know you have coffee there. Anything else? This coffee's just fine, I guess. Okay, that's good. I love your red hair, by the way.
We have that in common. Is it natural?
Oh, yeah, actually. My mom had red hair. I guess it comes from the family. Wow, that's awesome. My family actually didn't have any redheads until me, which is crazy. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Wow, yeah, that is kind of weird. Well, I guess we can get started. As you know, I am one of the team members working with the SEC, performing the inquiry into WorldCom. Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions? Yeah, totally. Great. So it's gonna be some really basic information. I really just want to know how WorldCom became what it is today and how it would run from day to day. You can start with telling me how you became one of the partners of LDDS and also how you became the CEO. Okay, yeah, sounds good. So it all started with Murray Waldron. He had seen that the telecommunications sector was really blowing up and people were making a lot of money, so he wanted to get into it. He made the company LDDC, which became LDDS, which ultimately became WorldCom. And I invested into it, becoming one of the partners. Soon after, they started losing a lot of money. This was because of all the long distance expenses. So I stepped in, I became the CEO, and my solution was the acquisitions. Since you bring that up, why were you doing so many acquisitions? Like, what was the point behind it? Yeah, so the acquisitions were supposed to lower our long distance expenses. So we wanted to make customers local so we weren't spending as much for the long distance. It ultimately changed our losses to a profit, and we acquired about 65 companies, dramatically increasing the size of WorldCom. Did WorldCom's internal controls increase with the size of the company? I mean, no, but internal controls at the time and the internal audit department was really not important. Like, businesses just really didn't invest into them like they do nowadays. So it wasn't a weird thing. And plus it seemed like a waste of money when our stock prices were dropping because of the telecom market bubble burst. Yeah, tell me more about when the stock prices started to drop. What was management's plan to bring those back up? I mean, we didn't want to make more acquisitions, but we couldn't really when we were in so much debt and the stock was so low we couldn't borrow off of it. Acquisitions were really what I focused on. I didn't really pay attention to the accounting. Is that when the accounting misstatements began? I don't know anything about that. So you don't know anything about WorldCom expensing their operation expenses as capital expenses? Like I said, no. Well, our evidence shows that that's around where it started. Do you know who would have given the orders if not you to start the misstatements? Like I said, I don't know. I don't look at the accounting. I have people for that. And you know, I don't know who would have told them to do it either. I know that I didn't. That's weird. I would have thought that the CEO of the company would have an idea of every aspect of running the company. Is this maybe why you were fired? They said that it was because of the accounting misstatements. But like I told you before, I don't know anything about those. Truth is, I was the one that quit. And it wasn't because of any accounting misstatements. It was because the company was in so much debt. I didn't feel like dealing with it. So, just to be clear, you have no recollection of ever knowing about any misstatements while you were working at WorldCom, and you don't know who gave those directions to complete those transactions? Yeah, that's what I said. Is there anyone else that you think that I should talk to? Someone who would know where those orders came from? I don't really know. Maybe David Myers, the controller of the company. Okay. Bernie, do you feel like you've been treated fairly during this interview? I suppose. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap things up? No, ma'am. Well, thank you for your time, Bernie. It's been a pleasure, and if you recall anything after we've spoken, just let me know and we can talk again. Thanks.